Myself Shadab Sultana. I am your science teacher and you are the student of class 10th now. Hope you all are fit and fine. As we all know that due to corona pandemic, the whole country has locked down itself and due to which the country is struggling with schools, teachers and lack of proper education. But to tackle this situation, most of the schools of the country have started the process of online classes. And students, you must take advantage of this opportunity. And here we are to facilitate you, and we too have started taking the online classes. About the schedule and the process of online classes, you have been notified on your WhatsApp number. Hence, I welcome you all on joining the online classes. Now we shall move towards our studies. As the subject science, we must know what is science. Science in simple terms, it can be defined as it is a systematic study of knowledge. So how could we define science? Science is a systematic study of knowledge. And you all know that science, the subject science, will be studied under three categories. That is physics, chemistry and biology. And students, I will be teaching you the lessons from chemistry and biology. And the physics part, it will be handled by Jyoti ma'am. Today, we shall have a biology class. Okay? Before moving towards the biology chapters, we must know the term biology. So, what is biology? The term biology, it has been derived from two Greek words. That is bios and logos. Bios means life and logos means study. So in total, biology means it's a study of life. So how could we define the term biology? Biology, it's a branch of science which deals with the study of life. Hope you are clear about these terms. Now, what are the chapters that you are going to study under the biology part in your class 10? So, the first chapter will be of life process. Second is control and coordination. Third is how do organisms reproduce. Fourth is heredity and evolution. Fifth is sustainable management of natural resources. So, these are the 5 chapter students that you are going to study in your class 10 from the biology part. And today, our first lesson will be life process. Life processes. As per the syllabus, our first chapter will be life processes. So first we shall know what are the subtopics that you are going to study under this chapter, life processes. So you have the first subtopic will be what are life processes. Second is nutrition. Third is respiration. Fourth is transportation. And fifth is excretion. So these were the 5 subtopics that was present in the lesson life processes. But students, you must need to know one thing regarding your syllabus. Because of the COVID-19 lockdown, we have lost so many periods, and to tackle this, the Ministry of our Education System has decided to reduce few concepts from the syllabus of all the lessons. And even in this chapter, so you need to skip few of the concepts. That means you need not to study them for your lessons. So which are those? So what are life processes? What are life processes? Nutrition, respiration. So these are the 3 subtopics that you need to be skipped. So these 3 subtopics, it will be skipped. And we will start our lesson, the life process, from the subtopic transportation. Okay. Now, there is a question that why only these subtopics have been skipped? Why not these? So, there is a reason, because about the life process basic things and the nutrition, respiration, about these things you have been studied in your class yet. Hence, it has been skipped. Now finally we shall start our lesson with the subtopic transportation. Okay. So before we move towards our lesson, an important note for you students. Have study materials along with you in every class you attend for. Study materials in the sense notebook, pen, pencil, eraser and so on. And note down all the things that will be taught to you and that will be written on the blackboard. Now moving towards our lesson. So before we could go in detail about the transportation, we must know what are life processes. So let's recall about what are life processes. So what are life processes? The processes which maintains body functions and which are necessary for our survival. Okay. So the processes which maintains our body functions and which are necessary for our survival. So processes in the sense activities. Okay. Life activities. So the life processes are the life activities which maintains our body functions. So and which are necessary for our survival. They will be called as life processes. So which are those life processes which maintains our body and which help us to survive in this world. So there will be respiration, there will be digestion. Digestion in the sense it will involve nutrition too, alright, and transportation, excretion and so on. Alright, so these are some of the life processes which help us to survive. Now among these life processes we shall move towards the transportation. Okay, so now you might have heard the word transportation. In general sense, transport, what is meant by transport? Transport means moving or shifting of substances from one place to another places. But when you come towards the biology, how could you define transportation? So transportation in biology will be defined as, so transportation is a life process. Transportation is a life process where substances will be synthesized, and are absorbed from one part of the body and it will be transported to other part of the body. So when you write the definition, you have to write transportation is a life process where substances will be synthesized or absorbed in one part of the body and are carried to the other part of the body. That is called transportation. Okay, now there is a question. What are the substances that are synthesized or absorbed and that will be carried inside the body from one part to another part? So what are those substances? So the substances will be gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, food particles, water, minerals, nutrients and so on. So these are the substances that will be transported inside all the living organisms and that will be converted into the energy and that will be taken as a source for making our body to work. Alright? But how could these substances will be transported? Okay? How these will be synthesized and these will be transported from one part of the body to all other parts of the body, that we need to discuss in detail. Friends, how is the transportation of materials will be carried out inside the body of all the living organisms? Through a fluid called blood. Okay, so blood. So there is one more fluid medium which will be present along with the blood, that is called plasma. This plasma It is a fluid medium which will be present along with the blood. So this plasma helps in the transportation of carbon dioxide, food, salts and nitrogenous waste. Food, salt, nitrogenous waste and many other substances inside the body. So what is the nitrogenous waste? Nitrogenous waste in the sense excretory products. So these substances will be carried out and will be transported throughout the body with the help of plasma which will be present along with the blood. But to need these fluids to flow, we need a pumping organ which helps the blood to push and which helps the blood to flow throughout the body. And what is that organ called? We all know that we already have a pumping organ, that is called heart. So heart, the organ heart helps in the transportation of blood and plasma which will be transported all other materials like food, nutrition, salts, nitrogenous waste, etc. throughout the body. Now what is this heart? Now we will study about the human heart. I have drew a human heart as you can see it clearly. So first we will have a look at the parts of the heart. So here there is an aorta, pulmonary arteries, pulmonary veins, left atrium, right atrium. These are the four chambers which I am going to tell you. Left atrium, right atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. There is a dividing wall called septum, and there is a nerve, that is a vena cava from the upper body and vena cava from the lower body. So these are the parts of the heart. Now back to the heart, about its definitions and its function. How could we define heart? Heart is a muscular organ that pumps the blood throughout the body. Heart is a muscular organ that pumps the blood throughout the body. And a human heart comprises of four chambers. Human heart comprises of four chambers. Which are those? They are two upper chambers. They are called left and right atrium. And two lower chambers, that is left and right ventricles. And as the heart pumps, so as the heart beats, it pumps the blood through a system of blood vessels. And those together it will make a circulatory system. So if we define for a circulatory system, we could say what is circulatory system in the sense, as the heart beats, the blood will flow through a system of blood vessels. Those together will make a circulatory system. And which are those blood vessels which make the circulatory system? So they are arteries, veins, and there will be capillaries. So what are those arteries? Arteries are the nerves which carries blood which will be rich in oxygen. So here students, you need to know one thing. Blood rich in oxygen, it will be called as oxygenated blood. What do we call? Oxygenated blood. So the blood which is rich in oxygen, it will be called as oxygenated blood. So arteries carries blood rich in oxygen from heart to all the other cells of the body. And these arteries, they have thick elastic walls. Arteries have thick elastic walls as to withstand the high blood pressure, which will be emerging from the heart. As soon as the heart pumps, the flow of the blood will be very high. The pressure of the blood will be very high, and to withstand that pressure, the arteries possess a thick elastic walls. Whereas veins, there are another type of vein, nerves, they are called veins. Veins carries blood rich in carbon dioxide. Now, blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, students, and it is known as deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. So, oxygen rich blood, it will be called as oxygenated blood, and carbon dioxide rich blood, it will be called as deoxygenated blood. So, veins will carry the deoxygenated blood from the cells of the body and it will bring back to the heart. And the veins, they will possess the thin walls as they need not to withstand the pressure. The pressure of the blood will be low when compared to the arteries. So, overall arteries, they will possess the elastic and thick elastic walls to withstand the pressure of the blood coming from the heart, and they will carry the oxygenated blood. Whereas veins, they will have a thin walls and they will be carrying the deoxygenated blood from cells to, and it will bring back to the heart. So, the other type of blood vessels are capillaries. Students, when compared to arteries and veins, capillaries will be the smallest blood vessels. Now, what are these capillaries? Capillaries are the smallest vessels and have walls which are 1 cell thick. So, which are 1 cell thick. What they possess? They possess walls which are 1 cell thick and through which the exchange of materials between blood and surrounding cells will take place through the cell wall. So, capillaries, they will be the smallest vessels and they possess the walls which are 1 cell thick and through which the exchange of the materials between the blood and all other surrounding cells will take place. Okay, students. So, this was about the blood vessels which help in the circulation of the blood through heart. Now, let me see how actually this process happens. How the blood will circulate, how the heart will circulate the blood for overall body. So, as you can see, I have drawn a flow chart for understanding better the circulation of blood. So, before we go to the heart, let us see how and all the blood goes through for circulation. Okay. So, students, as you can see, so the deoxygenated blood, I have written here deoxygenated blood. So, I explained you what is the deoxygenated blood? The blood which will be rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, that means it is also called as impure blood. So, deoxygenated blood in the sense impure blood. So, the deoxygenated blood from overall body, it will be collected through vena cava. Okay, deoxygenated blood from overall parts of the body, it will be collected through vena cava, and through this vena cava, the blood will enter into the right atrium, and from the right atrium, and when the blood enters to the right atrium, it will be in a relaxed position. Students, you need to keep in mind 2 words. So, about relaxation and contraction. So, when I say relaxed position, it will be like this. It will be in the free mode. And when the part will be in contraction mode, then it will be like this. Okay. So, relaxation, it will be in the free mode, and contraction, it will be in the just like this. It will be get contracted. Okay. So, now the deoxygenated blood from overall parts of the body, it will enter through the vena cava, and from the vena cava, as soon as the blood enters into the atrium will be in a relaxed position, and from the right atrium, the deoxygenated blood, it will goes to the right ventricle, and while going to the right ventricle, the atrium gets again contracted. When atrium gets contracted, ventricle will be relaxed to take the deoxygenated blood, and from that right ventricle, the blood will be carried to the lungs. Okay, the blood will be carried to the lungs through pulmonary arteries. Okay, from the right ventricle, the blood is carried to the lungs through pulmonary arteries. Now here, as soon as the blood enters into the lung, the blood will be oxygenated. So, Now the oxygenated blood from the lungs, it will be carried to the left atrium through pulmonary veins. Okay. So from the pulmonary veins, again the purified blood. So purified blood in the sense oxygenated blood, and oxygenated blood in the sense the blood which is rich in oxygen. So oxygenated blood enters to the left atrium through pulmonary veins, and from the left atrium again it will go to the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle it will be supplied to all the cells of the body through aorta. Okay. So this was about how the blood will be pumped to the body. And now let us have a look of this flowchart from the diagram. See, you can see here. So from overall parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood, it will enter through vena cava. So you can see two vena cavas here. Vena cava from the upper body and vena cava from the lower body. Students, so there will be two vena cavas. So the blood from the upper body, it will be brought from the vena cava of the upper side, and the blood from the lower body will be brought from the vena cava of the lower side. Okay. So the deoxygenated blood will be brought to the right atrium. This is the right atrium. So right atrium from both the vena cavas. Okay. So the deoxygenated will enter to the atrium through vena cava of upper body and vena cava of lower body. And from as soon as the blood enters the right atrium, it will be in the relaxed position. And from the right atrium, the blood, it goes through the right ventricle, and as soon as the right ventricle relaxes, the right atrium will get contracts. So it gets contracts, it gets relaxed, and from this right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood, it will carry to the lungs through pulmonary arteries. From the pulmonary arteries, the blood, deoxygenated blood, it will be carried to the lungs. Okay. And here in the lungs, the deoxygenated blood, it will be converted into oxygenated blood. And now converted in a sense, it will get purified. Now the purified blood or the oxygenated blood will be brought back to the left atrium through pulmonary veins. Okay, here you can see the vein. So pulmonary arteries, they will take the deoxygenated blood to the lungs, and from the lungs the oxygenated blood will be carried out by the pulmonary veins. So they will bring to the left atrium. From the left atrium, it will enter into the left ventricle through contraction and relaxation movement, and from the left ventricle, the oxygenated blood will be carried and supplied to all other cells of the body through a valve called aorta. Alright students, so hope you have got a clear view of the circulation happen through heart. And there is a part left, septum. It is also called dividing wall. Now what is the function of this septum? This septum helps the heart in not mixing up of the deoxygenated blood from oxygenated blood. It helps the heart to divide into two equal halves. Alright students. So this was the clear view of the circulation taking place in the heart. Now you might have observed, while the circulation process takes place, the blood will enter twice into the heart. So once the oxygenated blood, it will enter through the vena cava and it will come to the right atrium, from right atrium to right ventricle, and from right ventricle it will get out of the heart and it will reach to the lungs. Again from the lungs, the purified blood, it will enter into the heart through pulmonary veins, and from pulmonary veins to left atrium, and from left atrium to left ventricle, from left ventricle to again it will be back to the all parts of the body. So here you might have observed that the blood entered twice. The blood will be circulated twice in our heart. Hence, students, as the blood enters twice the heart or it circulates twice the heart, hence the human circulatory system is considered as double circulatory system. Double circulatory system. Okay, so what is double circulatory system? If the blood enters twice the heart for circulation, then it will be considered as double circulatory system. So this is how actually the human heart functions. Alright students, today we shall end up our class to this, and further content will be continued in the next class. But till that, just go through the content, explain and practice well the diagram of this human heart, as it is very important for your examination. And if necessary, take the help of the textbook. It will be available in part 1, page number 72 and figure number 6.10. About the correction of your homeworks and notes, you will be notified soon. Till that, keep practicing and keep it ready with you. Alright? Thank you.